He's like, I've been hyped. I'm going to kick butt. And all of a sudden, Legion's going to come and just be like, no, get out of here.
Valley Club, it looks like more Captain Britain Shards are coming for free next week. So how many can you expect to get? We also have the Astral Team that is here. They look to be great for beating Knull and beating Battleworld, but do they have any use outside of Battleworld if they don't have any of their awakened abilities? And when will the next legendary event for Shadow King arrive? Looks to be coming very, very soon. We have some official prediction in this video and a lot more in this edition of your Marvel Strike Force weekly news update this week. Joining me from the land of the midnight sun is my brother DorkyDad. And if you're ready for all of these topics and more, then brother Dorky, let him know what to do.
We gotta go smash it.
Oh yeah, welcome back to the ValleyFlyin channel. I am ValleyFlyin, this is DorkyDad, and this is your Marvel Strike Force weekly news update. We do this every single week, keeping you up to date on everything that has happened and is upcoming in Marvel Strike Force. And if you haven't done so already, I want to remind you guys, hit that subscribe button for more great Marvel Strike Force content. At least 5 Marvel Strike Force videos per week on the channel, keep you up to date on everything that is upcoming in the game. We got question and answer videos, news videos like this, gameplay videos, reveal videos, everything to help you get better at Marvel Strike Force. But how has Marvel Strike Force been for you, Dorky? You been enjoying the game? Not enjoying the game? Has it been boring with this easy difficulty of Battleworld for you?
Yeah, the starting on the easy difficulty of Battleworld has really taken the wind out of the sails for Battleworld, right? Like we were already, after doing the playtest, we were already concerned about the difficulty level. Making everyone start on normal kind of enforces that. So now that's the whole vibe the community has. So it does feel really stale right now, but I'm super hopeful that as we go through week 3 and we're on difficulty 4, it's a little bit more interesting than week 4 week 4 when we're on difficulty 5. I'm really hoping that we start seeing a challenge there. We start feeling okay, like maybe we're not 100% completing these nodes, we're putting about 80% in, so we're still progressing. I think that's what the game needs. The game doesn't need 100% completion on all PvE content. It needs infinite scaling content so that people kind of work at it, and then that kind of differentiates like who did better while working on it kind of thing.
So I know this normal difficulty is pretty much auto fest for older alliances, right? I think the Spec Ops is a little challenging still. I do want to get to that in a little bit, but what would be the best and worst part of a normal difficulty for you? Obviously the worst part is this boring, right? But what would be the best part of having a start at normal difficulty? What is the glass half full of this easy difficulty? Does it give us more time to prepare? I mean, what was the best part for you?
Well, so I would say it gives everyone their first taste of Spec Ops, and that's a good thing, except they also attached an event to it for the first week. So I kind of wish this first run didn't have an event for Spec Ops, and then everyone could kind of see Spec Ops, get a feel for it, understand how it works, and be more informed. But also just the structure, I think, is helpful for people to see before we dive into it. But we don't need 3 weeks of diving into it before we get to the main course, right?
I agree. Just set it up, maybe they could have done like difficulty 0 through difficulty 3 here. Then next week you get difficulty 4 and 5. Just make it a 2-week cycle instead of a 4-week cycle. Would have been a lot easier. One of the things I was wondering here is like, all right, this day was pretty easy. This day was pretty easy. I'm ready to get to Knull because you guys did the playtest server. You said that was the most fun part. Even on like these lower difficulties, that Knull boss was fun. Do we have too many zones though? Because I'm ready. I'm done with this. We got 2 more days of these easy zones before we finally get to Knull. So did they have too many zones? Should they have done less zones?
Honestly, I think if Battleworld was just 1 day a week where it was just Knull, I think everyone would love Battleworld. Because we have the 5 zones, it really does feel like it's dragging on. The complexity of Spec Ops has everyone kind of angry about the mode. The fact that we're on normal, like you said, like it drags on too much. I think it's fine that it runs all week. I think you either half the nodes or you take off every other day. Structurally, if Scopely was to make changes, I think that would greatly increase everyone's enjoyment of Battleworld.
What do you think of the time sync? I know we're autoing a lot now, so for me, it's not a lot of time sync. I'm just getting my characters in there, putting Spec Ops, and then normal missions, auto, walking away and come back and it's beat. So it's not too much of a time sink for me now. I do think that if I had to actually play every single node every single day, it would be a big time sink. What is your fear as far as the time sink for Battleworld?
I actually don't have much fear because I look at the enemy composition on the nodes, and we're facing things like 2 Hawkeyes and 2 Black Widows, or we're facing things like Uncanny X-Men. This Herald mission, there's the buffs that your team is getting here just trivialize everything. So my concern is not so much about time. I think it's basically going to be like adding another raid. So it's kind of like we have Orcus, we have Alpha or Spotlight, and now we have the Battleworld raid. Is kind of what it feels like. Like this doesn't look like very interesting, those enemies on that node to me, especially when you consider war rules are active there and how many war characters can kind of fit into that box, right? Gotcha. So I'm not too worried about the time sink, but that is contingent on like what is difficulty 5. Like if difficulty 5 is hard and challenging, maybe I'll actually enjoy that time sink. But if it's too easy, then there just won't be a time sink. So I guess still kind of a wait and see pattern.
And I guess, Mike, did you guys get to play difficulty 5 on the test server? What I know the first one was normal difficulty, and there's a second one. What difficulty was that?
That was difficulty 4, and that was with our live rosters.
Okay. And was that a big time sink, or was that pretty much auto for you at that difficulty when you used that?
So they gave us our live rosters. I only did 2 missions. I didn't take part in any of the rest of it. I don't even think we got to Knull. I think it closed out before then.
Fun.
Yeah, it took the same amount of time as what I'm spending now. Okay. My roster on difficulty 4, it was still just get in, hit auto, and walk away.
So the time shouldn't be much of an issue, just whether that time is going to be fun or not.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's move on to the Spec Ops, because I think this is what's stressing most people out, especially this week with these early missions being super, super easy. Now, Dorky, there's some fears from the community about this changing, right? Yeah. Because this would be bad if every week you have to redo this, alliance leaders to do this. You do have some more info on that. What is the latest on this? How often is this changing? What is the stress level for alliance leaders for this?
So the stress level is through the roof that this is going to change, because there wasn't a strike spot. The guy said this is going to rotate, right? But it's not going to rotate week to week. It couldn't rotate week to week. You got to understand, these nodes, they're so prescriptive. The nodes aren't changing. We know that much. So the fact that every single Undying character is being asked to be sacrificed on day 4, and every single Hive or Spider Society character is being asked to be sacrificed on zone 1, like, what would they rotate? They would rotate them out, so then you can just use them and auto wit. No. So these are here. These Spec Ops will be static until the finish of the Knull battle, right? When we get whatever the next big boss is going to be, that's when the Spec Ops will change. So like you plan for this once, and then you only have to switch it when you get a new alliance member and you got to move stuff around.
So what they were saying about rotating, it's rotating between zones, not necessarily rotating each week between trials. And we already have all the schedule of the rotations between zones. It's all here already. So you could do all your planning, and this will last probably until Knull is not the boss anymore.
Right.
One of the things I was not happy about, and I'm not sure if this is a good or a bad thing, you need all 30 of these to get the points for this. So let's say we're at 29 out of 30 right now for this Spec Ops 8. I don't think we're going to hit that, which means we're going to get 0 points for this one. We're going to get 0 points for this special one. I'm not sure if that's a good or bad design at this point yet. It's still pretty early on. It does feel bad right now, but what do you feel the design? Do you think that it's proper to have all 30 or nothing, or do you think there should be some partial points for some of these Spec Ops characters?
I super hate that it's 30 out of 30. So I run a mid-game alliance, right? Most of the people in that alliance, they're about a year old into their account, which means they weren't there for Black Cat. They weren't there for Nova. So they weren't there for Big Time Spider. We just don't have these characters built. And because it's 30 out of 30, literally, when today's mission starts zone 4, we can only even hope to finish 2 of the 8 missions, which means this event, we're demolished in this event. And these are hardcore mid-game players. Like, they log in every single day. We're pushing almost to diamond in war already. We're pushing difficulty 3 of Orcus. A lot of the guys are in platinum and pushing harder into Crucible. But we are going to get obliterated on this alliance event because we don't have things like 6 red star zombie Iron Man, 6 red star Nova, stuff like that. It's just ridiculous. I think if could you go back to the Spec Ops UI, I'll tell you what I think should be the case. And I don't think anyone would complain about this. Instead of being 30 out of 30, go ahead and click on one. instead of being 30 out of 30, it should be 5 out of 5. If you get 5 Apocalypses in there, you should get 30 victory points. If you get 5 Hank Pims, 30 victory points. That way, yeah, I can't do the Nova one, but we can do every other one. And then like they gotta retune how Spec Ops is acting with events, because on its face, it doesn't matter. Spec Ops is just about a very small amount of victory points to help sort of distinguish the leaderboard, but we all still kind of think like how many times you kill Knull will be the real determining factor. Yeah. So they need to make Spec Ops make sense in how it correlates with events, because right now it's so bad, it's so hurtful to new alliances.
Yeah, and it looks like they're repeating that, right? They did that with the Orcus team. Yeah, alliance event based on the raids. They did that with Night Stalker's team, raid team. Alliance event is based on the raids. This is a Battleworld team, so the alliance event, this cosmic battle, not just this week. We got it for the next 3 weeks at least, and I'm assuming after that we're gonna get even more of these events. What could they do to fix some of these cosmic battle events, these alliance events for Spec Ops? How could they make it a little easier? Because that's one of the big complaints I'm getting from alliances. Previously, if you had an active alliance, you could do those alliance missions, get all the things from the raids because you're getting bonus points per raid node. Now it doesn't look like you can do that, especially because it's such limiting if you don't have all 30 done. So what could they do to make that a little easier? Maybe give some bonus points every character you complete, or what would make the event a lot easier for you to swallow?
Well, they need to scrap that particular input for this first round, right? Because they're not going to be able to restructure what Spec Ops is in the scope of Battleworld tomorrow. They're just not going to be able to. So they need to take away the Battleworld input from these alliance events and go throw it in Crucible, go throw it in War, go throw it somewhere else, wherever that may be. It doesn't matter, right? Throw it back in raids, like just because it's making so many people stressed and angry, and I don't think they're in the wrong feeling that way. And then yes, I think they make it, you get points per character you fill out, and we go from there. And then they could run events based on that. I think it's fine if because they did give us 10 missions of leeway, right? So instead of giving us 10 missions of leeway, you give us 20 or 25 characters of leeway, and we go from there. They can even make it a little bit tighter, because I know they want us to throw some of these bonus characters on the missions, right? I understand. I do understand why they want a 30 or 30. They don't want your entire alliance not to do Zombie Juggernaut, because Zombie Juggernaut on the first node of Zone 4 is key in stopping the Brawn from giving speed up on spawn, right? I just don't think it's worth butchering events to try and to shoehorn that in.
Gotcha. Now, one of the other things here is that we don't have any tools for alliance leaders, right? In war, if these are war rooms, you could say attack this room, don't attack this room. So everybody, even without Discord, even without logging and checking messages, it's just very intuitive. As you log in the game, all right, I do this. I don't have to go check messages and stuff like that. What other tools, other than maybe a attack, don't attack, what other tools would help alliance leaders with this Spec Ops? Because I think that's one of the big complaints. How do you organize the entire alliance to figure out what characters you have, what characters people don't have? Are you going to be able to complete the Spec Ops? Are you not? Is it worth it to do it? Like for this one and this one, we didn't have the characters. It wasn't worth it for us to do it. So how does alliance leaders figure that out without spending a crazy amount of time?
Well, I do work with an individual named Livepool who made this amazing spreadsheet that I know a lot of people are using. It's great, it's helpful, but I think Scopely, it's not just great, it's not just helpful, it's amazing, and we're putting so much more effort into it. He's a genius with the sheets. But I do think Scopely needs to take some of this responsibility on themselves. I think if they switch it to just being character-based instead of like entire mission-based, that solves 75% of the problem. The rest of it though, like people need to understand, you have to do Spec Ops before you do your gameplay. If you don't, the chances that you're just going to use the characters that are needed for Spec Ops is nearly 100% because it's so tailored to be that way, right? Yeah. I do think that when you open up the zone for the first time of the day, like when you open up war for the first time of a war, we get the pop-up like, hey, you're about to start a war. Do you need this currency? There should be a pop-up that says, hey, you're about to start a zone. Do you want to go set your Spec Ops? right? I think that plus making it character based would make it so much better. Then even for casual alliances, people can go in, they'll set what they set, and then they go do gameplay. And you're not going to be as involved with Spec Ops if you're not super involved though. It's just there's so much like crossing counters off, crossing the bonus teams off from that. Like it's so much that we need at least these little bits so that like the casual alliances get some of it done, especially if we're starting to put events around these things.
So one of the strategies that the envoys that were on the playtest server had was complete all these other ones first, then to go do your Spec Ops, because these were kind of bonus points, right? You could get to the Knull boss without doing any of the Spec Ops. Well, with the way these missions are structured, these alliance events are structured, you kind of have to do the Spec Ops, so it kind of changes things. Is that strategy still going to hold once these milestones are done and once that difficulty 5 is available? Do you still think Spec Ops is the first thing to do and then go do the rest? Or once we get the higher difficulty and Spec Ops doesn't matter for the missions, do you go to the strategy that originally was proposed by the envoys, do these missions first, and then whatever bonus, whatever extra you have, then go do the Spec Ops?
If you do the nodes first, you're likely only going to complete 3 Spec Op missions total.
Okay.
Because it's only the first 3 Spec Op missions. Those characters seemingly have like nothing to do with the node required characters for the zones.
Okay.
So no, I think you still have to do Spec Ops first. The question comes into why, right? So Spec Ops, it's giving you, if you fill every single thing in, 5,280 victory points. It's not cumulative. You're not getting 4,500 plus 5,200 for those last two. No, you only get the 5,280.
Yeah.
So the impact that has on your score, 5 days, is 25,000. I guess 26,000 points total, right? Yeah. Which is the equivalent of 2 people, or what is it, like 10 nodes total or something like that for 2 people. Like it's not worth it from a victory point standpoint. Now this opinion could definitely change depending on how the victory points end up lining up when we're on difficulty 5 and we see, where does the milestone breaker come in? Like if we do more Spec Ops, do we hit more milestones? Okay, then Spec Ops are important. If there's an event running, okay, Spec Ops are important. If an event isn't running and that doesn't affect milestones, then I don't think anyone should even look at Spec Ops. Just use the bonus teams, auto it, and go on with your day, right?
All right, so I guess it's a wait and see. We don't know what difficulty 5 is. We don't know what these other milestones and the other missions are. So it may or may not change once we get difficulty 5 and events and everything like that.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that plan. All right, let's talk about the last day of the Battleworld. This is what I've been looking forward to, just based on your feedback. The Knull boss. And what are some strategies that you have for the Knull boss? I know a lot of it is going to be based around clearing barrier, and that was one of the big strategies from the live stream about all these characters that could clear barrier. Any other thoughts on what is needed to beat Knull? Just coordination, just kind of brute forcing it, or are there some strategies that we can actually use?
So there's not really going to be coordination with your alliance mates. This is kind of a misinformation that's going on out there. I get 3 attacks on Knull, right?
Okay.
My attacks are continuous. So if my first attack, I pull the Knull ult, on my second attack, Knull won't be ulting. But if I do an attack, I pull the Knull ult and somebody else attacks Knull for their first attempt, it's still a fresh Knull. Right?
Gotcha. Okay. That was one of the big questions I had. Okay.
So everyone has kind of their own enemy cooldowns they're going to be playing around with their 3 attempts.
So the cooldowns have nothing to do with some of your lines. I know Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, which a lot of this mode is designed on, worked a little differently. So it's different how that works. From this
which is way better, right? Because imagine if I left Knull and he's about to turn 1, you go in there and you die right. Like it would be horrible.
That would be bad. That would be bad.
Yeah. The only thing that you and your alliance are working towards together is this 80 million life you see at the bottom of the screen here. Like that's the only thing that, like, whatever damage you put into the boss will show up on that meter, and that's the only real like connection you have with your alliance mates as far as gameplay goes. As far as strategy goes, yes, taking out barrier is big. The entire Astral Team is going to be one of your attacks. Right? Once you get the Astral Team, boom, you're going to throw them in there. I think after that, it's going to be a list of the usual suspects. You'll have a Mephisto team, you'll have an Odin team, you'll put Sus with one of them, you'll put a different barrier clear with the other one, and then you put in your most powerful characters, Old Man Logan, Annihilators, that sort of thing.
Yeah, that sounds like the strategy there. I think that's what we're gonna do, and then I guess this is a good test. You know, have these lower difficulty. What are the teams that work well for your roster based on where you have them built and everything like that? Yeah. Now, one of the things about the rewards is you only get rewards for Knull if you do the full clear. And obviously getting more shards at higher difficulties. At the base difficulty, normal difficulty, full clears get you 3 shards, which means 60 weeks to unlock Knull at the lowest difficulty, over a year to get that unlocked. Do you think these are a good amount? Do you think we'll get Knull in other places other than just these rewards? I mean, how fast for a average alliance, so a mid-game alliance, not a new alliance, mid-game alliance, how long do you think it's going to take to Knull based on that? 60 weeks at the top end. I think it's 18 weeks at the low end, so between 18 and 60 is what we need is the range. Where do you think the mid game is? Somewhere right in between that, or we'll have a higher exponential time frame?
So we don't know how much Knull shards we're gonna get for difficulty 4. I think, based on my playtesting and based on what the other envoys had on their live accounts when they were doing the playtest, I think difficulty 4 is gonna be very manageable for mid-game accounts. You're just not really going to be messing with the Spec Ops. You're just going to be leaning heavily into the bonuses you get from the nodes, right? A very small Undying team is going to wax the Zone 1 Gamma team with the war buffs, because Undying is with Zombie Killer Witch is insane in war, right? Yeah. So it don't think it's actually take as big as an investment for alliances to get up to difficulty 4. Okay. So if we're getting 10 shards on difficulty 5, I think a fair guess would be 8 shards on difficulty 4. Okay. And then we can do them out there. And that's probably going to be like, what, 25 weeks or so?
All right. So that brings up another question. Is it better for your alliance to go to difficulty 4, skip the Spec Ops, screw your milestones that are coming up, and get more Knull shards, or go at lower difficulty, complete the Spec Ops missions, get the milestone points, and then make it a little longer to get Knull? What would you think, just based on the information we have right now? Because obviously that could change in 2 weeks when we get all the full information.
I mean, look, hopefully they're going to change how Spec Ops works, and we're not going to have to worry about this, but I don't think you can just blanket say skip alliance events, because they can feed into the monthly events. It could eventually be a source purple ISO. Maybe we should talk about that, because this Battleworld event is actually going to be taxing people way more purple ISO, because you can't hit that last milestone the way you could hit it in the raids, right? So I don't think you should ever just consider completely skipping a giant input of an event. But I mean, at the end of the day, like, Sobli's got to fix how Spec Ops interacts with event inputs.
Yeah, they need to switch that up a little bit, because it is pretty frustrating for a lot of people, and it's going to be uncompletable for some alliances as well. I guess the good thing, though, another good thing about having a new game mode, we got a new store right now. Endgame Thanos, Gore, Hank Pym are the first 3 characters, along with a lot of purple gear. Well, what do you think of the contents of this store and the pricing of this store? We're at day 2 already. About 2,000 or so of this currency for that at the lowest difficulty. We'll have more of that as you go higher difficulties. What do you think of the contents of the store and the currency that we're getting, the rate of the currency that we're getting?
Right. So Gladiator's also in the store. I would caution people against buying Gladiator or Gore at all from this store, because we know one of them is going to the Spotlight Orb after Black Panther, and the other, and Gore is going to be a Blitz character. So like, don't use your currency on those unless you're super close to a star upgrade, and that's going to allow you to do a harder difficulty on Shadow King, assuming Shadow King is still Stargated, which I don't see any world where they would take that away, right?
They're probably gonna have him Stargated.
Yeah, Thanos, Endgame, and Hank Pym become the farms here. Hopefully, like you have here, you have your Hank Pym max. There's been lots of ways to get Hank Pym shards. I'm not spending
The candy store was what I got the max out from him.
Me too. So on my mid-game account, that's how I maxed him out too. So hopefully you don't have to farm Hank Pym there. So I think Thanos Endgame probably becomes the primary farming here.
That's a good point.
Yeah, his cost looks better than it did when we saw the Strike Spot stream. I think the Strike Spot stream is like 11,000 or something. So the price point is way better. And the crystals, I do think we're going to have to lean heavily into those crystals, at least from the current difficulty and what we saw from the rewards in the Strike Spot. I didn't see us getting very many purple crystals. We were mostly getting purple ions.
Yeah.
So I do think this will be our primary crystal farming location.
Okay, so after these characters are 7-star, just save it all up for the crystal that you need, probably.
Yeah, get your Odin, and then, I mean, try and keep up with new characters as they come, I suppose.
I agree with that. All right, in addition to characters going to the Battleworld store, we got Black Panther Shuri going to the Spotlight Raid Orb. Hank Pym is in the Battleworld store that we went there now. Now, Guardian is going out of the Spotlight Raid Orb. He is going to replace Darkhawk. He actually did that earlier this week. Hero 7-9. Darkhawk is in the Blitz store and Blitz Orb. And as you mentioned, Gladiator, Gore, Thanos, all in the Battleworld store, also added to the bumps. And Gladiator, Gore going out of the Battleworld store in December. Gladiator is going to that Spotlight Raid Orb. So if you have a bunch of those saved up, you can get that Gladiator pretty easily. You got a guaranteed 5-drop in every single one of those. Also, Gore into the Blitz store, very, very easy to get the character shards there. So I didn't think of that. But yeah, I like your recommendation. Just by Endgame Thanos, because the rest of these characters in December, they're going to be very, very easy to get because Endgame Thanos is staying in the Battleworld store. What do you think of all these changes? I mean, I like that they're mentioning the changes that are happening in the next month before it happens. More communication, I think, is always better. What do you think of this announcement?
I really like it. A couple of nitpicks that I think would make it a home run. It's a 3-base runner right now. Let's make it a home run. If Guardian, instead of replacing Darkhawk on 7-9, replaced, I don't even know who's there, I think it's Noir on 7-6, that's what's best for the community. Because on the 7-6 node, that's the gold orb fragment.
I got you.
So I really wish to help new players and mid-game players and everybody, because gold, everyone needs gold. I really wish that they would try to put these new character farmability onto those fragment nodes, particularly the training orb fragments and for the mid-game, because that's the biggest bottleneck. But the gold orb fragments, I think that's best for for late-game players, right? Yeah, you're pulling it up right here.
I agree. If it was on 7-6, I farm this every day. I hardly ever farmed this one, but they've been moving the newer characters to these 9s and then leaving these characters on the 6s for the gold orbs, from what I'm saying. I guess they want you to farm 2 nodes instead of 1, but I would have preferred it at the Noir place as well. That would have been a lot better. Yeah.
Besides that, well, can you go back to the little the update there? Yeah, sorry. The other thing I wanted to talk about was the Black Panther Shuri featured in the Spotlight Orb. I don't know about you. My mid-game account, I didn't buy Black Panther Shuri. I did not buy Gladiator.
Yeah.
I only had to open up 30 orbs to get Black Panther Shuri max. I still have 200 Spotlight Orbs on that account.
I'm not sure how I got her max. I did buy one offer, so that was what, 50 shards or whatever or 100 shards or whatever for the unlock. But yeah, I had her maxed out way before Hank Pym. You know what? Actually, I might have bought her once in the candy store, and that was it.
Okay,
I think I got her maxed out from the candy store as well.
Yeah, I do wish that they would rotate that Spotlight Raid Orb much faster than what they are, or give us less of it. Like, as stupid as that is to say, like I hate the idea that I'm sitting on this orb and it's always gonna be, 75% of it is just overstock.
Well, again, the glass hatch full. At least as soon as a character goes there, you get them at a guaranteed 7-star already. True. If you don't already have a 7-star, because you're getting those guaranteed drops. You have a big surplus right now. So
yeah,
as soon as you see this in the blog post, you're like, oh, I'm getting that character 7 stars next week.
True. What I said was stupid. Like, of course, I don't want less. It feels it's awkward progression. Or maybe they can put something else in the orb. Put T4s in the orb or something, so mid-game players will want to open it for other stuff.
T4s and gold, because people have a bottleneck of one or the other. Give us both. So whatever bottleneck you have, you can
50,000 gold in every orb.
I like it. Do it. Just go.
Yeah.
All right. Ancient One is in the game, the first new member of the Annihilators. And I guess my question, as you can see, I have not bought her yet. We have the 6 red star in her, so I opened some red stars for her. Is she worth it?
I mean, it's a raid team. It's Battleworld is raid 2.0, right? They're needed every single day. There's only, I don't know if you noticed, the zone 1, 3, and 5, the Astral node is identical. The enemies are identical. Zone 2 and 4, the enemies are identical. So I mean, it's a raid team at the end of the day, and it's going to be one of your 3 attacks against Knull is just going to be the full Astral Team. So, I mean, how do you value that? I guess is the question. Me personally, I look at this team as 0 value in war, because I don't know where the awakening abilities will come from, and without the awakening abilities, it's like B+ ish team, maybe B+ ish team, right? It's kind of on the same level as Orcus, but all of a sudden you throw the awakening abilities on there. Then they're just like 1 step down from Mercs for Money or 1 step down from Undying. Like, it's an amazing team with the awakening abilities, but not having the guarantee of get them, I just don't. What do I do? What do I do with that information, right?
Yeah, I don't like war teams. I don't like war. I don't like to invest in war teams. I do like raid teams, and Battleworld is kind of like a raid. I'm probably going to be skipping this team. I know we're going to need them for Battleworld. It's going to help with the boss. Knull Shards are going to be great. But I'm just not feeling this. But what I do like that they're doing is these step up offers. Now, they've done these in the past, but what they've done differently, I think they started with Man-Thing and stuff. They're giving the prices. So before you start with these step up offers, you can make a decision, right? This is 59. The next step is 74. The next one is 99. So if I want to get all these, I could calculate the prices as well. You got the cheap one here as well. This one does not seem as good as some of the Night Stalker ones there. The reason I think this orb here has a lower drop rate, I think.
There's a couple things there. So this is the offer I've been buying to get characters lately. I did
like
this for
this one seems cool, but it's not as good as the Night Stalkers. It's not as cool as the Night Stalkers was.
Well, let me tell you why though.
Awaken ability is not as cool as what Blade's ones were.
Well, that's for sure. For sure, Blades were way better, right?
Yeah.
But in the old Daisy Chain offers for Oath and for Man-Thing, you got a guaranteed 25 shards for each character. It came with shards.
Plus, I did see that for Man-Thing. I remember that for Man-Thing.
Plus for Oath, you got about 30 more orbs than you're getting for the Ancient one of the Pity Orbs. A lot of people bought this. I bought this. I made a video. I did all my opening in that video.
I heard you got really good luck with it.
I did. I got 100 pulls. It was ridiculous.
Nice.
I completed Stat Anomaly. But I've heard so many other people say, like, I got 40 shards. I got 50 shards. I got 29 shards. Like, I've heard a lot of horror stories with this. This offer, this is just like, this is if you're an adult and you can be responsible. This is your gotcha. This is your gamble mechanic, right? This is gambling is what it is. But you get the awakened ability at the end of it. So just buyer beware on this offer. This is still my preferred because I just like the little dopamine hit of hitting open, but beware of this offer for sure.
Yeah, it is definitely not as good as the Night Stalkers. If it was exactly the same as the Night Stalkers, I would be really considering it. The orb itself isn't as good. The chances for getting Ancient one, not as good. I think the expected value for like the Oath offer, the Man-Thing offer, 85 shards for the character, even with the worst pulls. With these, the Ancient one offers, it looks like it's only 41 shards, the expected value. So a lot less than I think. And I think that does include the guaranteed shards that they were giving out for Man-Thing and Oath. So this one not as good, doesn't seem as important to me, but I guess if it's worth it to you, it's worth it for you.
It's a weird one.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be doing this one, but let's talk about Ancient one. And the value for this character outside of Astral, outside of Battleworld, is there any kind of synergy, any use case for Ancient one? Maybe some Mystic Tune synergy, maybe like replacing a character in a Darkhold. Agatha went off the team. If you don't have a full, is there any use case for this character outside of Battleworld, outside of Astral? I guess War, but if you don't have the Awakened abilities, what is the use case for her?
I guess you could put her, Moondragon, and Doctor Strange with like Black Cat and Hardlight, and then you could put Robbie with Undying. I guess you could do something like that because she also does. As a plug-and-play character, not the greatest. She does give counter to her entire team. She does like buff flips. She has some interest, but not more than what you would consider like a real plug-and-play character, like a Kang or like a Blade or like somebody like that who has like crazy,
like a Void Knight flips. Or Nightcrawler on the previous raid. Okay, not as good as either of them.
Yeah, but I could see you kind of in War anyway. You know, you keep your Photon with A-Force, you put your Robbie with Undying, you put the 3 current Astral characters with Black Cat Hardlight, you just YOLO something, see what happens. New characters, new stats, good stuff normally happens.
Is this team too slow to have any value outside of Battleworld and without the awakened abilities outside of War? Or with the awakened abilities outside of War?
Yes.
So no value outside of those two?
Yeah, so like her awakened ability on her passive is that she gives Safeguard on spawn. If you don't have that Safeguard on, first of all, Safeguard on spawn can be bypassed by like Apocalypse or Ares, so that's the counter to it, right? But if you don't have that Safeguard on spawn, this team is so easily controlled and destroyed just on the first turn. Like, in War, a Superior 6 team, if she doesn't have the Awakened ability, the Astral team doesn't take one turn. If she does have the Awakened ability, the Superior 6 don't do more than 25% of their life. Like, the difference between just that one Awakened ability on this one character is crazy.
So, yeah, no value in War without the Awakened abilities. They're going to be like you said, Orcus value. So,
yeah,
very, very low. All right.
Oh, but here's the good news, though. Did you know, you didn't get to test this, in War, if you put this team on defense, if I have all the Awakened abilities and I put it on defense and you put yours beside me and you have none of them, but everything else is the same, they'll show the same power. The Awakened abilities do not add to the power of the team. So I think this team...
So you just got to guess if you're facing a win.
Yes.
Gosh,
if this goes on defense, and then people will roll the dice. Okay, like, do I bring Apocalypse in case they have the Awakened ability?
Oh my goodness.
Or not, right? So it's like,
just placing them on defense, you're gonna be pulling some pretty good counters, even if you don't have the Awakened abilities. So this is probably a defensive team without the Awakened abilities.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, now let's go back to Battleworld, because there is an option that you may not need to use the Astral team, but wonder if that is a good option or not. As you can see, we just ended our day 3, but as we go into day 4, there is one option. Instead of using the Astral team, you can use Pegasus. Is there any reason to just skip this Astral team for now, build up your Pegasus, or just skip the Astral team for now and use Pegasus until we get them all unlocked free to play, or just unlocked however?
I think your Pegasus team is going to start struggling around difficulty 3, certainly on difficulty 4, unless you have like a maxed out level 100 gear tier 18, a couple diamonds. The diamonds will probably help a lot. Unless you have like a 3 million Pegasus team, I think you start severely struggling on difficulty 4 to the point where you probably don't clear. Like, you probably don't get all 5,400 points. You probably end up getting around 3,000. You'll still get to Knull. You just won't place as good in the leaderboard.
Gotcha.
My mid-game account, the way I'm running it, I'm not coring for Astral. I'm not doing none of that for Astral. Just the same way, like, I'm waiting for the Night Stalkers for raids, and then we're all going to move up to difficulty 3 of Orcus as soon as Night Stalkers is done. We'll do the same thing. We're going to wait until Astral Team is available free to play for most people, for the most part, and then we'll jump up to difficulty 5. Because until then, like, it's a dead note. Like, Pegasus is trash. I beg them to choose any team but Pegasus. Throw Superior 6 in there. Throw something in there that people will invest in more for this, but then they'll actually get done. I beg them not to do Pegasus here. But
that's why they did Pegasus, because they know it has no value. You got to build up the trash team if you don't invest in a new team. That's what they want. All right. Let's talk about the next legendary, Shadow King. Now, this does affect my predictions for the date, because as you can see, November 3rd, this week, we have the no leaderboard. Next week, we're getting the first strike. That's going to run for 3 weeks. December 1st, the first official season of Battleworld begins. I'm thinking Shadow King will be here before December 1st. What is your prediction for when we're going to get Shadow King released? We did get Ancient One released yesterday. Emma's probably going to be sometime next week or early the following week. So I'd say Shadow King starting the week of the 18th of November or the 25th of November should be here. What is your prediction for when we're going to see Shadow King?
I think Shadow King's event will be done before December 1st. And because it's a 10-day event, I think we're looking at November 20th or 19th or 18th.
Okay, that makes sense. And how much of a Stargate do you think will be? Because they said Captain Britain wouldn't be required for the next legendary. It'll make it easier, but even with a 3-star Captain Britain, you can still have an easier time unlocking him, which means I'm not sure how they're going to do the Stargate. If it's going to be for the rest of the teams, Captain Britain doesn't count. The rest of them will have Stargate. What do you think will be the structure of his event? Because the way to describe it seems like it can be different from other legendary events that we had in the past?
I think it's just going to be the Goldman Logan. And I do think Captain Britain will Stargate it as well. The way that they worded it is like, you don't need Captain Britain to get the unlock. Well, yeah, because there's 6 Illuminati members. Like, I could definitely jack up Iron Man and bang out difficulty 10, no problem, because difficulty 10 is quite easy, right?
Yeah.
I do think Captain Britain Stargate will be in effect. I think that'll be a key distinguishing factor in the leaderboard, who is using Captain Britain on difficulty 15 and who is not, because there is a lot of players who have both of these teams, Annihilators and Illuminati, maxed out at 7 stars right now, because it was so long. Battleworld was pushed back so much that they had to stall out the Astral Team for as long as they did. So yeah, I think it's going to be the same as Old Man Logan. You know, you'll be able to do up to difficulty 10, irregardless of star level. Difficulty 11, 12, 5 star. Difficulty 13, 14, 6 star. Difficulty 15, 7 star.
So the unlock, you can get them without Captain Britain, without it being built, but to get the high levels of Shadow King, kind of like Old Man Logan, you need certain teams built. You need certain teams at certain star levels.
Yeah, I mean, the way I see it is, can you beat a Super Skrull team in this mode? Say Super Skrull drops in on the second wave, not the first wave, right? Could I line it up in such a way that I'm able to blow that Super Skrull up? With a non-Captain Britain team? Yeah, easily, right? Like difficulty 10, yeah, like a 3-diamond Black Knight will probably blow a Super Skrull from difficulty 10 out of the water. If I start pushing difficulty 14 or difficulty 15 and that Super Skrull drops in, now that's a different story. That's when you have to have Captain Britain to stop him. And I think that's probably what we're going to be walking into.
You're probably right. It'll have those stabs tokens and everything like Old Man Logan did and all of this stuff, yeah. All right, so sometime before the 1st of December is when we probably should see Shadow King. I think that's a valid prediction. All right, but we have another team that is in the game right now. Just came out, sort of. They were here for about a week. The Undying team, very good. You've had a few wars with them. I've used them in practice mode this morning. 4-piece with Ares. Full autoed Mephisto teams. It was practice mode, wasn't a real war. What was your experience with this 4-piece Undying in war? What was the most impressive victories that you were able to get or see?
They're so good. So like a free-to-play Scarlet Witch, like a 2-star Scarlet Witch with a jacked up zombie Juggernaut and Hela and a regular zombie Iron Man. Them with Odin, and I know it's Odin, but beating Mephisto, Skrull plus 3 Annihilators, which was a nightmare defense for a very long time. And it just shut it down. Like the 2-star Scarlet Witch is doing like 4 million damage to the entire enemy team on her ultimate. And just existing with her passive, stopping speed bar. The same way Captain Britain revolutionized Crucible, she's doing it in war, right? It just, speed bar is so powerful. When she does that, it's crazy. So the team is overperforming in all aspects. And I love it. I love the team. I think it's a great investment. My free-to-play account, I have her at level 95. I had to stop because I'm bringing up Astral, but she's definitely going back on the max out as soon as I can list.
All right, so we've had 2 previous Undying members. We had Zombie Iron Man, who was pretty good with low stars, made the team very effective. Zombie Juggernaut, a little different. You needed some stars. You needed him built, have to have him very effective. What would you compare Zombie Scarlet Witch to? Because right now, sounds like she's awesome. So Zombie Iron Man seems like a comparison, but seems like she gets even better as she gets bigger. So is it, would you say it's more fair to compare her to Zombie Iron Man because she's great at low star levels, or as she ramps up, her importance gets even more? Is she more like Zombie Juggernaut in that sense?
She's like the best of both worlds. So she works at really low stars and she does a lot of damage, but with her new stats and with the scaling, she edges out what Zombie Juggernaut does damage wise. Ooh. I saw a picture of somebody in Crucible. They were facing off against a 6 red star, 7 yellow star Zombie Scarlet Witch with the rest of the Undying characters, and they beat a Mephisto team. I forget, it wasn't Odin with them either. It was just the how she scales is crazy. So yes, she functions like Zombie Iron Man did at the lowest star level, but she ramps up exponentially faster than Zombie Juggernaut does at the high star level, which is crazy.
All right, so you probably made the first prediction all the way a year and a half ago at the Envoy Summit. Yeah. Bought that Funko Pop Zombie Scarlet Witch. Is she holding up to your expectations? Because she sounds like she exceeded the expectations. But did she at least meet your expectations when you bought that Funko Pop a little over a year ago?
Yeah, I mean, mine's a lot cuter than the one we have in game, though. Kind of, it's a thing, man. But no, she's dope. She's great, and it really does kind of show us what we can expect from the next zombie, right? The next zombie probably stops speed stat, because now what we've had is Juggernaut stops speed up, Scarlet Witch stops speed bar. The next one stops speed stat, which we see now from characters like Night Stalkers and New Avengers and Alpha Flight. So I think that's the next character.
Yeah, could be. Depending what kind of buffs they introduce over the next year or so, it's gonna be something to counter that, probably, right?
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to the events that we have going on right now. This event is, I feel like I'm doing horrible on this event. When I look at my rank, I'm like 17,000, and normally, like, if you look at these, I've completed a lot of these. So I guess it's just based on my spending or my low zombie Juggernaut or something like that, or not investing in zombie Scarlet Witch. Where are you on this event? Because I feel like I'm really behind. Usually I have like the meta item ready.
So on my big account, I'm about 15,000 points ahead of you. On my mid-game account, I'm about 15,000 points behind you.
Okay. Yeah. So I did something wrong.
No, because
did you hoard energy? Did you hoard energy for this? Because I didn't hoard energy.
About 2,000. But I also have Juggernaut at 7 stars. You don't. That's 9,000 points right there.
Okay, that might be it. But yeah, I didn't want to get a zombie Juggernaut. All right. What about this? Does anybody have a 7/7 Captain? Well, I know there's some people, but does the majority of the community gonna have a 7/7 Captain Britain? Is it gonna be worth it for majority of the community to push for this, the diamond for Captain Britain?
It depends on his dark diamond cost. I mean, a lot of people are gonna have that. Like a lot of people that place within top 500, 2,000. They're already going to have the 1 diamond Captain Britain because that came with his offers. Actually, is 1 diamond even above 500? What's the one above it? So from 300 to 2,000.
Yeah.
So people ranking in like the top 300 to 2,000, a lot of them are already going to have a Captain Britain 1 diamond because they wailed out on him when he came out, right? The other people, it's probably a good event to push because it's going to save you dark diamonds, but it is his first dark diamond, which is normally pretty cheap. So I don't know. It's an interesting thing. We don't know where his freaking red stars come from. We're still waiting for the Captain Britain event to come out because they gave red stars for free during his release during that event. They said the event was coming back, but since then we've heard nothing about it.
Well, we got some data mines. We'll talk about the data mines in just a little bit. And I do want to get your predictions on what's going to happen when that does come back. But yeah, I think it's coming back next week, just based on the data mines and the timing of that.
Nice.
Before we move on from this event, I do want to talk about the Voyage orb. I don't know. I'm not really feeling that orb. It's got some good gear and stuff like that. But as far as the Voyage orb, as far as the contents, what is your thoughts on this? Got some teal crimson gear there. Got more gear in the center pillar and some dark diamonds or dark promos in the right pillar. But it seems kind of lackluster. I'm going to open 6 right now. I'm not super excited about this. I'm not super excited.
I have an opposite take than you, Mr. ValleyFlyin. Looking at those 480 DPCs, that excites me. I don't really care about the diamonds as much, right? Because the diamonds, like, you only get them sparingly. Like, this event is kind of an anomaly. Yeah. The DPCs, like, this is something you're curing naturally over time. On my mid-game account, like, you're at 11,000. You're looking pretty good right now. Mid-game players get this kind of DPCs, and they get excited. Because that gets them half of an upgrade to 5-star one of their horsemen, right? Or it gets them 10% of the way to get Old Man Logan to 7 red stars. Like that's a big gain.
I guess I'm looking at the old school modality. Character shards are what I want, but now character shards are kind of devalued. The crimson gear is not as exciting, but yeah, this is still good. But I'm hoarding all this stuff for Super Squirrel right now or Mephisto right now. So I don't know how many I'm going to need. I don't know how depleted that's going to get very quickly. So I don't know. I guess it's good. It's just not as exciting for me.
I feel you on that.
These are good. These are good. This I'm not complaining about. This is good stuff.
I feel in that. On my big boy account, on the last orb, the Hunger and Thirst orb, I was excited because I was getting Omega shards, right?
That was good, yeah.
So on my mid game account, I love these orbs. On my other account, I preferred the Hunger Thirst.
Gotcha. Yeah. So this it's not bad. It's just not exciting for me.
It's different.
Let me know your thoughts, Valley Club. Am I alone there, or do you guys have that non-exciting feeling as well for it? But let's move on to the new store here, not the candy store, the turkey store we have going on right now. So I guess the big question is, are you gonna buy this Mephisto Red Star Orb? Is that worth it to you?
Oh yeah, 100%.
All right.
I like getting Mephisto at a higher star level is crazy. Arguably puts him on par with Odin at 7/7. Like it's crazy.
25% chance to get at least a 6 for Mephisto.
Yeah.
It's pretty expensive though. Is it worth that shot? I mean, even if you don't get Mephisto, there's some pretty good characters in the other rewards, right? Even these 2 diamonds. Got some pretty current characters, pretty recent characters that are still involved in the meta. But by doing that, you're probably not going to be getting the Moondragon passive helping you on war. So what do you think is more appealing? This Red Star Orb, where you may get something that's great, something that is duplicate, or this Moondragon passive and kind of help the Astral Team be a little more effective in war?
So on my big boy account, I'm refreshing the store 3 times. I'm buying Turkey every time. I'm buying the Moondragon passive, the Mephisto star. I'll do that. I think I'll probably get 2 shots at the Mephisto orb. Okay. On my smaller account, I'm not doing refreshes because the core, I just can't afford that much cores because that account needs to core for like training materials and stuff like that. I'm buying the Moondragon passive, which might just be a waste because if you don't refresh the store, there's literally not enough refreshes to get the 200 awakening abilities that you need for that one, right?
I better refresh it because I didn't do the math on it.
Yeah, there's a little bit of math you gotta do there. I think it's like, I don't know how many refreshes it is. It's quite a bit though. On that account, I'm taking it. Yeah. So here's the other side. Like you see, Blades is in this store, right? Yes. This was the candy store last store. I kind of think maybe we're gonna get a Christmas store, and that Moondragon's passive will be available there again, the way that Blades is available here. So I'm risking it on my mid game account, and I'm just not refreshing the store on that one. On that account, I think I'll get 1 crack at Mephisto. So the trade-off here is I'm not buying the Crimson gear. And let's be real, the Crimson gear you can buy from this store, this would be huge for the majority of your roster. Like a shot at Mephisto is cool, but if you get more Crimson gear to spread out throughout all of your characters, it will help you more in Crucible, will help you out more and more in Battleworld, in Towers. Like getting more Crimson gear is probably the smarter call. It's just not the more fun call. The call where, you get to open up the orb on stream and it's either or it's Scopely,
sometimes that gambling gives you that high and low, right? Whereas this stuff, the sensible things are like, all right, that's good. That's a sensible thing. But this one, it gives you that dopamine hit when you get that, right? So,
That's right. All
right, so I think I'm going to do kind of the same. Now, one thing I did not see, I've seen this Moondragon passive here all the time, and these have not rotated yet. One thing I was mentioned in a blog post, though, we got awakening abilities for Doctor Strange, Blade, and Moondragon. Blade and Moondragon are in there, so is Ares and Old Man Logan, but I've not seen Doctor Strange yet. I've asked in the Envoy chat, and one of the guys said that it would be there. I've not seen it yet. We're on Thursday. Is that a mistake? Did they forget? Is it not going to be there?
Well, they did the candy store where they kind of added a couple things halfway through it, right?
Yeah.
Well, they added Captain Britain halfway through.
Well, my
right?
specific question is it said it's gonna be there this week? And it's like, oh yeah, the blog is accurate.
Oh,
I've not seen it.
Oh. I think it's coming later. I think it's coming probably halfway through.
Yeah, I know.
I think they'll trade it. Yeah.
They said they're going to be updating the Turkey Store rewards during its run, so make sure you keep checking. So
I was like,
maybe it was late, but I don't know. Well, we'll see. It ain't there. It ain't there for me though. So don't expect anything for Doctor Strange in the Turkey Store right now. It's just the Moondragon and this stuff that stays here, and then the Crimson Gear rotates. And no Captain Britain in the Turkey Store. He still is in the Candy Store, but I don't know if it's worth refreshing for Captain Britain in the Candy Store. All right. So that's all good there. Now let's get back to this Battleworld event that we talked about earlier, because a little frustrating. We talked about some changes they can make to Battleworld itself. Are there any changes in this that they can make, like make the points even easier to get? What would you change about this? Because it does look like this type of event is running for the next 3 weeks, or a similar event to this is running 3 weeks. How could they make this a little more friendly from the Milestone event perspective, not from the Battleworld perspective?
Yeah, from the Milestone event perspective, like Spec Ops need the structural change. That's the only answer if they want to do an input for this. I suppose they could do like victory points, so they would like have to drastically increase the Milestone numerical number. Like you need like 10 million to get Milestone 17. And then when people are doing difficulty 5, they'd easily hit 10 million. They go from there. But then that would ruin the events for people that are stuck doing difficulty, 1, 2, 3. So they can't do that. It's got to be Spec Ops. Spec Ops has to get restructured. It's the only thing that they could really use as a event input. But the way it is right now, it's actually it's just as bad now as it would be if it had like a 10 million on it for new and mid game players. Like I said, the one that just started, my mid game alliance, hardcore players, lots of spenders in there, people that have been playing for more than a year now. We can only do 2 zones today.
Not good. So yeah, if they're gonna run this, because they did previously, they did 2 raid ones previously at these events, and then even for the Annihilators, it was based on winning an arena or battling an arena and things like that. So I think they do want to kind of have these alliance event tied to the most recent team and the game mode is supposed to be in. But I do agree, they need some restructuring of this, because this does not feel like the Night Stalkers or Orcids or even the Annihilators one for that matter. This is just it's not as good.
Yeah, I agree.
Not as friendly. All right, but let's move on to the month-long Milestone event, and this looks to be like the phase 2 release for Man Thing. What do you think? Do you like this phase 2 release for Man Thing? Haven't gotten too many shards for him. This is his event, I think.
Yeah, this is definitely his event. Yeah.
Is this a good release? Is this a good phase 2 for him, or is this too little shards?
I mean, like, he's been out for like a month, and then you put a month extra on it to get the like. No, I don't like it. I really don't like this new release they're doing for characters. You really need him for Night Stalkers to do anything interesting in any game mode. Like that 20% speed stat increase he gives keeps them alive in the raids. Like if you're trying to use 4-piece no Man Thing in raids right now, you just get wrecked. And I mean, here's the next part.
Without Odin and without Mephisto, yeah.
Yes, yeah. I have the same amount of Man Thing shards as I have Oath. Where the hell is the Oath event? I know we've been getting like a drip of those shards from the raids. I've gotten absolutely 0 pulls on her. And like she's another linchpin because she gives the energy. She does all that stuff, right? So I like these Night Stalker characters are frustrating me so much more than the Orcus did, because Orcus, we had hybrids, we can make them kind of work in raids. If you don't have Mephisto or Odin, without Man Thing, without Oath, good luck, Chuck.
Yeah, this is tough. I didn't get a lot of her shards anyway. I bought 1 blade offer, bought 1 Oath offer.
So you got 30 shards.
Stars. She is 33 shards for Oath. That's all I've gotten. It's easy to track.
Horrible.
And I've got, look at how many shards I've gotten for Blade. Exact same offer. I mean, exact same shards from the offer, and Blade is almost at 6-star. Oath is not even close to 4-star. I don't know what happened with these releases, but as far as the month-long Milestone event, I do have one more question about this. We've had Crimson Teal gear in this for so long. Mephisto's been out for a long time. When are they finally going to shift this to Crimson gear? I mean, they've undone the tightening of the Crimson gear because people have unlocked Mephisto. When are they going to do that with this? Is it going to be next month? Are they going to wait till 2025 to do this? When do you think they're going to do this?
I think they'll only do that when there's a gear tier.
So next year, when the level cap gets increased, the gear tier gets. All right.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they should just do it now, but
they should, because it does. Open up Mephisto.
Yeah.
All right. We got a player poll event ending, and the winner, Victoria. I guess that's who you wanted to win.
Yes, sir.
I was voting for Justin Hammer. I kind of like that cocky attitude from the Iron Man 2 movie. Didn't vote for Robert Kelly. I thought the Sentinel on a human would look weird, but yeah,
it's like a Halloween costume. Robert, it's horrible.
All right, so Victoria Hand, why did you want her to win, and what kind of team from the Thunder, or what kind of Thunderbolt team do you think we're going to get now that Victoria Hand is the winner?
Well, she's all about espionage. I want Yelena. Ghost is great espionage. Like, I want a stealth, cool sniper, like snipe you down kind of team. And I think that she fits that motif way better. I think her costume is going to look unique as opposed to Justin Hammer would have been just another power suit. And let's be real, have you seen the MCU? The suit that Justin Hammer made folded a pilot in half. Okay, like he's not good at this. She looks like she's good at this. She looks very capable. She's got 2 streaks of red dye hair. That is the sign of a very stable person. My wife is that. Trust me, she's very stable. Makes sense all the time. Never fight her ever. I think that it's gonna fit the theme way better to have like a spy on the team than it would be to have like the freaking Halloween child's costume that was Omega Sentinel or Justin Hammer folding our characters in half before they get to take a turn.
All right, you've convinced me. I still a little disappointed Justin Hammer didn't win, but you're so passionate about Victoria Han. I'm like, all right, cool. Just have Victoria Han. Have that red streak of hair in the game. Have all this cool spies in the game. That's all cool, dude.
That's right.
You're way passionate about it. So yeah, you get yours. Have Victoria Han wins. Congratulations.
Hey, you guys got freaking Panda Pool. All right, you guys got Panda Pool. I get Victoria Han. Win-win.
I like pandas. I like panda. But hey, coming back to this a little, do you think, based on the screen that we have for the Night Stalkers, the loading screen, it should have been Morbius that won, and it should have been Werewolf by Night that won, not Man Thing, and not what is the other one that Moon Knight?
Yeah, look, the furries got beat out on Man Thing. That probably shocked everyone. I was shocked. I really thought Werewolf by Night was gonna win. It's a vampire team, so it stands to reason Morbius should have won. But people really like to be edgelords, and they wanted the guy that just random stuff go, and they wanted Moon Knight. And then everyone's now realizing, oh wait, Moon Knight's kind of garbage because he's real slow and he's the first subbed off the team, and there's so much RNG in his ultimate. Where Morbius could have been hack and a slash, he could have been a great plug and play with Old Man Logan putting out early bleeds and stuff. But no, we got Moon Knight. Fine.
I didn't even think of the character's kit when I picked him. I thought, yeah, that Morbius movie wasn't good. The Moon Knight show I enjoyed. I'm voting for Moon Knight. Looking back on that, though, I probably should have picked Morbius instead of going for Moon Knight. I wish I changed that.
Well, the non-Morbius pick hurt us in a bunch of ways, right? Because we also then didn't have a city villain character for DD8 that was there. Instead, we had another city villain.
And yeah, thematically, it wasn't as good.
Yeah, but no, you're right. Jared Leto did kind of ruin Morbius for an entire generation. That's true.
All right, and let me ask you: do you think this ruined the roster screen? I know this is easier, and I guess on BlueStacks or LD Player or Emulator, it's easier because you can type into search. And this has cost me more time. Has this made it easier for you to search for characters, or has this cost you more time?
I think it's just a function of not being more familiar with it. Like for 6 years we've been using the old method, so we're programmed to do it. I think 3 months from now we'll be able to do this. It'll be either just as fast or faster. But yeah, change sucks. Change is horrible. Never change anything. Always stay the same. Never progress. Just stay the same.
I think you're right. I'm just not used to it. That's why it's taking me more time, because when I was like, all right, the verse was right over here. Now, where the hell's the verse? Well, I got to scroll down. It's in the miscellaneous. Now I can get my verse favorites here. But other than that, that's I got no complaints with that. I just wish they had some of the traits that I would search for a lot easier. It takes 2 steps instead of 1 step, but yeah. I guess it's fine. All right, let's talk about the Shadow King Awaken ability, because I'm not sure if some people are aware where it is, but in your Alliance donation box, Alliance gifts, you got 1 on box 5. You also have 1 on box 3. I'm going to claim it right now. You got 1 of the Shadow King Awakes abilities here. So you get that one for free, and you basically get the first one for free as well. So 2 for free per day. If you're donating these dark promo credits, you can get more of that. But 2 for free per day, which means 100 a day to unlock of the basic ability if you're getting it this way and no other ways. What do you think of adding these basic awaken abilities in these donation boxes, replacing the candy store that we've got candies?
I like it. I just wish that turkeys were part of this as well, because we got candy itself for doing these donations before, right?
Oh,
so turkeys should be added. We should be getting 9,000 turkeys for the luxurious, and I think it was 6,000 for the fancy. We're just getting less turkeys. It's awkward.
They switched the icons like a week after this started. Do you think they're going to add some turkeys after, like a week after this started? Yeah,
or add a cornucopia and give us some turkeys for going to it. I think that'd be great. I would caution. I heard of asking their players to refresh, like they're taking turns refreshing the donations to donate another 1,000 silver promos so they can get that final one. I was doing that, but as you can
see, I ran out of it. I ran out of silver promos because I was refreshing them like I want all this candy to buy in the candy store.
Scopely's licking the wrist right now. They're like, oh, we can sell Red Star offers against. All ran out of the promos. Yeah.
Valley's out. Let's start selling him again. He's gonna buy him. We got him. We got him this time.
We got him, boys. I would caution it. This basic awakened ability. You don't need it for Battleworld. It's just blind.
War. It's
war.
It's just war.
Because this team ends up on defense, right? People aren't gonna know if it's there or not anyway, so they're probably gonna overkill the team. And when somebody overkills the Astral Team, say they go in there with Superior 6, but they bring Apocalypse, Shadow King doesn't get a turn again. So if people go in there assuming you have the awakened abilities, it's not going to affect the outcome of the match for you to have this basic. I guess the only thing that would change that is if you're going to use this team on offense. If you're going to use this team on offense, I think that's cool. That's great. I still don't think it's worth refreshing a losing chorus for. But I guess do you?
Yeah, I was doing it for the candy store, but yeah, not for awakened abilities.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's move on to another awakened ability, because as we go into war, we got a war going on right now, so it's going to take a little longer to load. But Ancient One has her passive awakened abilities in the war store right now. We have in the war rewards right now. It went into the game yesterday, so this current war going forward should get this. Based on your rank, you should get some. Anything silver, any war line, silver 1 and above should get some for your wins and for your losses. And I think that's a good thing. What do you think of this release method for the passive of Ancient One? We're in Platinum 3 right now, so we're getting some of these for every win, some of these for every loss as well. If you're in the lowest one, Gold 1, 9, that's going to take that's 22 war losses. That's about 7.5 weeks or so to get the Ancient One awakened ability. Do you like this release method?
That's not bad at all, assuming it's in there for 7.5 weeks, right?
True. They might remove it. You're right.
Well, I hope it is. I hope they just leave it in there for the duration of this season, this Night Stalker season, if you will. I like it. Again, her awakened passive is definitely the most important passive on the team. Giving Safeguard on Spawn, that was a weird way to say that. Giving Safeguard on Spawn, it revolutionizes a team, okay? Like, you definitely want this if you want to use this team on offense. Okay. And if you're going to throw it on defense, you definitely want to have this so somebody come in and try and beat it with just Superior 6. They take the risk and they don't bring their Apocalypse or Ares, well, then you're going to win. So
try to get these. Get these, because it is this is the most important one in the entire team. The most important awaken ability.
Yeah, it stops on spawn taunts. It stops. It gives you safeguard, and then it also prolongs your effects. It's definitely the most important. Just matches are won and lost in Marvel Strike Force with the first opening turns. What does the enemy team get to do to you? You are a slow team with Astral. If you can't survive, nothing else on your team matters.
Makes sense. All right, so get this. Try to win some wars so you get a little faster. And one more place with another awaken ability. You have some awaken abilities in the bang for your buck. So we have more of the basic for Shadow King in this bang for your buck. So if you're spending, you're getting some of those there. Get a little faster than just the normal donations. But we also have the Captain Britain awaken passive ability. Pretty good awaken ability. What are your thoughts on this? $10. Spend that'll give you 50 of them. You do that 4 times, that gets you the full awaken ability. Is that worth it for Captain Britain?
That's what they did with the Blade one too, right? I think it was Blade Basic.
Yeah, the basic for Blade, yeah. Which was
bad, like that.
But this one's actually pretty good. Though on turn he gains more drain.
Yeah,
the Blade one, I think it just gave him more crit on his basic.
Yeah, both of them are kind of they're like, it's okay, but it's kind of whatever. Because normally if he takes a turn, you're probably dead. That's what normally happens if Captain Britain takes a turn. I like this. I think that this is giving, like, pass buyers, they kind of can alternate. 1 week they buy the battle pass, 1 week they buy the strike pass. Yeah, it means that they're going to get this for free as a byproduct of that. So I like kind of stacking that up for players, giving them a nice little extra thing. Yeah, this is what bang for your buck is supposed to be. It's a little bit of bonus for spending money. It's your punch card, right?
Yeah, I think this is I like that they're doing that. Yeah, cool. And they're probably going to have more and more awakened abilities on future characters, because I think Scopely sees the sales of this and they see, all right, we can get some awakened abilities. I think they're going to have some on future characters, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, the real question comes: when do these start trickling into the raid store for the elite credits? Right? I stopped converting my elite credits into Crimson Gear because they still only have like Green Goblin and Black Cat on there. So eventually, Old Man Logan's gonna end up in there. Ares gonna end up there.
Is he?
That store is gonna get slammed.
Is he? Is he? Because he's been out for a while, right? I would assume they have to, but
yeah,
it's been a while.
Eventually. Because these stores, if we have to only get them from these stores, that kind of sucks.
All right, so you know what? It did take a while for Green Goblin Classics Awakened abilities to go there. So I'm assuming they'll move Green Goblin Classics to normal raid credits, put Old Man Logan's for elites, and then just continue that process there. But I hope they do it a lot sooner, because it's a long wait that we have to do for Green Goblin Classic and still for Old Man Logan.
Agreed. Hopefully there's no Battleworld Store. Oh God, please no.
I didn't say that. Don't. We didn't say it, Scopely. That was a joke. We're joking. Don't do that. All right. Are you interested in DATAMINES though, Dorky?
I'm very interested. I haven't been keeping up.
Okay. So, not a huge one. You already know about this coming. That Illuminati showcase is returning. That was in a previous blog post, but now got some DATAMINES. So I'm thinking next week it could be coming back as this playthrough, a rerun of the final part of the Illuminati story as they attempt to save the world from Ultron Chapter 2 challenge requirements. Any Illuminati character suggested team gear tier 14, 5 yellow stars. Looks like it should be pretty easy as far as the requirements. What do you think the rewards are going to be? The first showcase, the Illuminati showcase, had red stars for Captain Britain, had a few nice juicy things. Do you think those things are going to return when we get this showcase returning?
I don't think it'll be a 1-for-1 return. Like, I don't think, because the shields wouldn't make sense anymore, right? Unless they keep the shields and you just get 100 shards.
That would be super generous if they do.
Yeah, if we just get 100 shards for it, that's awesome, right? I really don't know what to expect. I'm not expecting the world here, because I do know he's also coming to passes. And we also had him in the store for a while. Let's expect
nothing, Dorky. And then we'll be happy. I expect nothing. No shards, no reds to nothing.
Listen, that's what Mary Jane says, right? She says, if you never expect good, I don't know what the line is. Basically, just never expect good things to happen. You'll never be.
All right, I'm expecting nothing from this, so I'll be happy with this. But what it does say, Illuminati Milestone game progress, it says 11-day event. I don't remember if the first one was 11 days or not. By spending illuminating energy in the Illuminati showcase from the free web claims, you'll gain additional progress by gaining Illuminati team orbs. So it looks like those team orbs are coming back. And those team, they had all the Illuminati, not just the newer characters. But yeah, have some Hank Pym in there, have some Black Panther Shuri. I don't remember. I don't think these had Captain Britain shards. They didn't.
No, they didn't.
Okay. All right. So that's about it. All right. So Cosmic Battle. That is the one with Battleworld again. You got to use your special ops in Battleworld. It's coming back again next week. No. Hopefully they can make some changes so it doesn't come back exactly how it was. And yeah, you said it. Captain Britain going to the Battle Pass. Season 34 is going there. And it looks like some Shadow King offers are coming in. They're in the game files. So I guess it's coming soon. So yeah, 20th does make sense. The 20th of November. Any vital thoughts on these Illuminati showcase, this Battleworld Alliance event coming back, Captain Britain shards coming in the Battle Pass?
Well, the normal stuff, I think is the normal. I mean, the Battle Pass, cool. Hopefully they don't dilute the shards we get from the Battle Pass. The event coming back, hopefully they give us 100 shards. I think that'd be really cool. Shadow King probably around the end of the month. And then the Battleworld stuff, they have been getting so much feedback, and it's not all peaches and cream. It's not all roses. It's not all sunshine. Not getting a lot of flowers for Battleworld right now, right? It's Scopely. So I am expecting, because they do this all the time, they put out something that we reject brutally, and then they overcorrect crazy, right? So I'm kind of expecting some sort of monumental change. Okay. And I almost hope they don't, because I still want to see what it's going to be like on difficulty 5. But I think in the meantime, with these events they have planned over the month, they really should just not use Battleworld for events yet, right? They should. That is I think the big monumental shift that they should do right away. Is just say, okay, no, we're not going to use Battleworld for events until we get this ironed out.
Yeah, or like you said, shift around the way that Battleworld is actually structured. The Spec Ops, not completing all 30 will still get you some points. If they change that, I think this will be a little easier to stomach. And also with the raid nodes, remember we got extra points for doing individual nodes. Maybe add some points to the Battleworld for doing, completing a whole thing of that. You get some extra points, or I don't know, something. But change around the structure. But it looks like there's some free Captain Britain shards coming, ladies and gentlemen, so that's always some good news. All right, any other final thoughts on this week, brother Dorky?
No, I just, hey, guys, I know everyone's kind of down on Battleworld. I'm right there with you. Let's just wait and see.
It was expected, though, right? It was expected this easy difficulty would be this.
It didn't take the sting off, though. Like, people were so hyped for Battleworld, and to put it out in such a state, because the difference between Battleworld and, like, when raids come out, you know the first couple of days are going to be sim, boring, whatever, right? But raids are a day. So after a day, you're on the next difficulty. Then the next day, and you quickly get to your highest difficulty. The fact that Battleworld takes a week to climb through each difficulty is draining people and has really kind of killed the hype. And I'm really hoping that hype will come back in week 4 when we get to at least do the highest difficulty, or our alliance is situated in the difficulty we're going to be working on.
I'm hoping even sooner. I hope it comes back in 2 days. We get to the Knull boss. And then we get to have some fun with that, because these early stages are just about the Spec Ops. Do you have the characters? Do you not have the characters? All right, auto, go. So hopefully get some fun with the Knull boss, and hopefully that fun expands as we get more and more difficulties added. And I hope they continue to tweak a lot of the issues that are still with Battleworld. So,
yeah, I'm excited to see what the big boy alliances do to this Knull. It's a normal Knull, right? How many times are they going to kill him? No, the Knull's first week of Battleworld is going to suck. He's coming in. He's like, I've been hyped. I'm going to kick butt. And all of a sudden, Legion's going to come and just be like, no, get out of here.
I like it. Awesome. So let me know how many times you and your lines kill Knull. Come back to the video. Let me know in the comments. Hopefully you guys have a great rest of your day. Make sure you go check out Dorky's channel. Put some awesome content out there all the time. Mid-game account, high-end account, so all sorts of levels of play. So check him out. And if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button for this channel. Does affect the channel, does seriously help the channel, the YouTube algorithm as well. And if you want to check out one of the best plug-and-play characters in Marvel Strike Force, check out the video up there. I'll see you guys next time. Have a great rest of your day. Have a great rest of your week. Dorky, are you ready for that fist bump?
Let's get it, my man.
All right, here we go. Hulk fist bump, ValleyFlyin, DorkyDad out. Have a great one, guys.